Okay, so this is my online lesson module project. It includes all 5 steps: engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. So for the first week, I just have kind of an intro. Welcome to calculus. So this first link is a Padlet, I believe, and this goes to something where I ask the students to tell me what they already know about functions before I say anything about them. Okay, and then next is this ed puzzle that I have them do. Basically just about an introduction to limits. There are these questions on the side here. All of this is required so far. They have to do this. But yeah, this last little step in this first section is just reassuring them that even if it's confusing, we're going to go over lots more examples later. Okay, so for week 2, we have the explore section. And we have this Nearpod slideshow that I'll have them go through. And I chose Nearpod because I feel like it's a good way for the students to simultaneously get engaged and have a good time while they're doing it. I thought it was pretty fun to make and go through. Alright, and this next part is really about having fun. This is a Kahoot that I made about the subject matter. Yeah, so far pretty much all the links that I'm going to have are going to be required for the students to do. Okay, so this third step, explain. I explain to them different ways to solve the things. So this lucid chart that I made, they have to look this over. This is basically a concept map on how to solve or how to evaluate limits graphically and with a table. Okay, so yep, that's that step. So then step number 4, I made them 2 different infographics. The first infographic was about how to evaluate limits graphically, and this is basically just like a step-by-step I don't know, step-by-step something for them to go through to see how exactly they should go about solving them. If they had any confusions, they should have already kind of picked up on how things were done through the first few steps, but these are just elaborating and reassuring and reinforcing their knowledge. I also included a video at the end of both of the infographics, so if they're confused about the way that I explain things, they can go listen to somebody explain it to them. So there's the first one, and then the second one is about how to evaluate limits from a table. It's a bit shorter because there's not as many steps, but again, I included a video for them to go to if they're confused about any of the ways that I've explained it in this step, in this infographic, or with any other previous steps. So yeah, for this step, this is also I wanted to make a project. Basically do what I did, except with specific examples of the limits graphically and using a table. So I also linked the website that I used and the video on YouTube that I used to make mine. So just to make it easier for them. Okay, and the final step is evaluate, which is for me to kind of see exactly what they know. So the way I did it was, before I had them do the project, I had them play a Jeopardy through, which I made, which is just pretty fun. There's not really much. I can get some value just from seeing what exactly they know from the Jeopardy. It's really only for evaluation. It's not for any kind of points. I wouldn't think. I would just make it so that I could tell if they know what they're talking about. So for the last portion, I just am going to have them make some kind of concept map about what they've learned. So I linked 2 different sites. I linked Lucidchart, which is the one that I used to make my concept map, and I linked Pictochart if they preferred to use that. And for each one, I also included the videos. Just make sure all these links work. I included the videos that I used to make mine. Yeah, so I think that my OLM is pretty effective, especially because of the age of the subject group that I'm going to be teaching. Because I didn't opt to use a lot of the more, not immature, but more kid-directed visuals and lessons. I made everything pretty not advanced, but you know, it was definitely tailored toward my specific audience. Like the pictures you see, they're goofy, but they're not anything too childish. I think that I kept the colors pretty consistent. I kept the font and the size consistent, so it's pretty easy to read. It's pretty easy to use. It's pretty self-explanatory. Well, I guess I'm explaining it through text, but it's pretty easy for the student to go through by themselves. So yeah, that's my OLM.